think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for Thursday, January 17th, 2018. I am Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, folks. Thanks for giving us some time. Thanks for joining in. I got to step out. I'll be gone for a few hours out of my house, the studio, the computer room. But I will be back later on this evening, not too late or anything. But I wanted to jump into this master level trolling to the highest levels, folks. All right. Trump comes out, basically denies Pelosi her planned trip abroad. All right. The Unhonorable, Dishonorable Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., 20515. I think I'm reading all that right. The White House, right, up here, January 17th. This came a little bit ago. Dear Madam Speaker, due to the shutdown, I'm sorry to inform you that your trip to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan have been postponed. We will reschedule this 7-day excursion when the shutdown is over. In light of the 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay, I'm sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate. I also feel that during this period, it would be better if you were in Washington negotiating with me and joining the strong border security movement to end the shutdown. Obviously, if you would like to make your journey by flying commercial, that would be certainly your prerogative. I look forward to seeing you soon, and even more forward to watching our open and dangerous southern border finally receive the attention, funding, and security it so desperately deserves. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump. He just trolled the ever-living shit out of Pelosi. Excuse my language, folks, but that is the real deal. Let me see here. This little article here from the Associated Press. Trump denies Pelosi the aircraft for a planned trip abroad. It took Donald Trump 1 day to flex his executive power back at the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, denying her an aircraft for a planned trip abroad in apparent response to her attempt to delay his State of Union address amid their government shutdown clash. The nation's two most powerful leaders appeared to be engaged in a game of constitutional one-upmanship as negotiations to end the 4-week stalemate failed to produce results. In a letter to Pelosi on Thursday, Trump said that due to her shutdown, which we just read, to Egypt, Brussels, Afghanistan, would be delayed, declaring, in the light of the 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay, I'm sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate. Now, while the shutdown dragged on, the State Department on Thursday instructed all U.S. diplomats in Washington and elsewhere to return to work next week with pay, saying it had found money for their salaries, at least temporarily, despite the ongoing government shutdown. In a notice to the staff posted online and sent to employees, the department said it had found money to pay most of its employees beginning Sunday or Monday for the next pay period. They will not be paid for time worked since the shutdown began in December until the situation is resolved, said the notice, which was signed by William Todd, the Deputy Undersecretary of the State for Management. It was not immediately clear where the money was found, but the department said it would use existing funds as well as other available fiscal authorities to shift existing balances to restart payroll funding. Salaries cannot be guaranteed beyond the next pay period, which ends February 14th. If the shutdown does not end by then, the department said. However, it said it would review its balance and available legal authorities to see if other flexibilities may be available. The department said it was taking the step because it had become clear that the lapse in the funding is harming essential diplomatic and national security objectives. While the department has done its best to address matters essentially to achieving U.S. national security and foreign policy objectives during the ongoing lapse, it has become clear as the lapse has continued to historic length. And we need our full team to address the myriad critical issues requiring U.S. leadership around the globe and to fulfill our commitments to the American people. All right, we don't need to read much more. It goes on and on a little bit, but I was reading something that said they hadn't released this to the public. What was I reading? Let me see here if I have it available. And I don't think I do. But anyway, I saw something funny. It said that basically they hadn't announced anything because of the shutdown, and I don't know if levels of security are a little weaker than normal, but they weren't going to announce it. And somebody, I don't know if it was, we'll just say whoever, walked by Nancy's office and they saw all these bags sitting outside, packed and ready to go. And they went and probably, talked to somebody else, like, what's going on down there? There's a bunch of bags packed. And, they're going on that trip where they're going here, here, and here. And then, who knows how it went from there. If it was like somebody raced to Trump, it's like, not that they don't know these things, but there's a lot going on and maybe you kind of forget. And it's like, oh yeah, they had that scheduled. Well, why don't you should stop that? And he really quickly went into work. And it makes sense. It's not, something that you would do to just do it, but it makes sense. Yeah. Scratch all that. Do that maybe after the government opens back up. All right. After things are situated a little bit better. So unbelievable. Just wanted to bring that to you guys. That is a master level trolling to like the third degree. I mean, it is just good stuff. Good stuff. And we appreciate it because somebody's having to give it back to these people the way that they've been giving it for all these years. It's simple, folks. Build the wall. If it doesn't work, we're in the exact situation that we're in. We know it's going to work. You look at other numbers at other countries for at least the drug flow, the human trafficking, the human rights abuse in general. Do they not come through tunnels? Do they not come to the border? Are there bad border patrol agents that are on the take and get money? They're part of it. I would believe so, here and there. I can't imagine all of it. Just like you have crooked people at the heads of these agencies, FBI, DOJ, CIA, others, you'd have that anywhere. And we want to combat it all. We're looking for 100%. So when we make the argument that, the wall won't work 100%, it's not going to stop it. It could slow it. I know for a fact it'll slow it down. So that there alone is worth it. But if we're attacking, we can't leave any area. Like for some reason, some of the people on the left, and I don't consider myself really on the right. I'm, I look for what is right to be done. I align with the right a little more because of their values on the border, guns. So I do. I'm right leaning, and I actually agree with the right a little bit more than I do the left, for sure. That's just how that goes, folks. But it's unbelievable that people will argue that, well, it's not the only way they're coming through the open border. We got this happening, airplanes and tunnels. Okay, well, we're looking at all that too. We're not going to leave this area open because you're telling me about other areas that aren't as good. It doesn't make sense. You build it. If it doesn't work, we're in no worse position than what we are in right now, folks. Why are they scared? The people that you argue with or talk to or get in a little social media debates with. And it's a shame that you're arguing with a fellow American. And it's like, well, we know what's going on right now doesn't work. So could a wall work? Nah, you're foolish to think that it would. And you'll go on and on with them until you finally get to this point of like, well, then all of a sudden becomes once you knock them down on all their points and bring them over, they almost want to, but they still can't. It's in their system now. The bottom line is Trump's building it and they don't want it done. Because they'll tell you at the very end of a conversation, most of the time it's, well, I'm not going to spend $5 billion. It's going to cost $25, $50 billion anyway. 5 is just a start. It's not worth it, and it's not going to work. I'm not going down that path. They get real upset about the money aspect of it all of a sudden when we've already delegated $80 trillion this year, and they're not upset about that. Not upset about the $54 billion going to foreign aid that does us absolutely no good. And that might, we need this for our country. Yeah, these people that are getting it in government, this is like we are the world in the 80s. We are the world, feed the hunger. 20 years later, I'm reading a book 10 years ago talking about how hard, 80, 90% of that money never made it to the people to eat. It was just a way to make it look good. You get a bunch of the stars up on stage, and we're all into it. And that money made its way into the evil people's pockets. That's just how it works, folks. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So again, master level trolling. And it just makes sense, folks. All right, I'm going to put it up right here. If you want to pause this for a minute, you could read it. You just got to hit the pause button. All right, and I'll let this sit here for a minute anyway. Maybe you could read it while I'm talking, but I am out. I'm going to go. I got to get out of here. Again, I just wanted to bring you guys a tidbit of information. A little something new, a little something different. But again, Trump stood up to that lady and the Unhonorable Nancy Pelosi. There you have it. Again, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you. We'll see you back here later this evening for another update video. Have a great evening.